exciting day. We get to the point where we're doing the post in the back here because there's such a mass of wood in this carving supported by two little legs. I thought I'd tie her skirt into this post of wood, which I'm carving into a tree stump. I have one little knot that I just carved in. I'm going to carve another little knot hole over here. You see I'm angling the chisel down like this, which will mean represents a knot or a broken end of a limb that would have come out, and the limbs would have come out at a bit of an angle up. So if I angle my chisel this way, it'll make it look like it's going into the tree in the proper direction, at least. When you carve with a deep gouge, it leaves deep furrows in the wood. And then you want to knock the ridges off in between them. You use a chisel with a slighter sweep. This is a number 3, and a number 3 is just a real nice, subtle sweep. It's great for that in-between work. Let's see. I have a fairly good-sized parting tool I'm going to use to create kind of a split in the wood. Top and bottom. Back to the 3. Those numbers relate to the tightness of the sweep on the cutting edge of the chisel. A 1, number 1 is a straight chisel, flat chisel. As the sweep gets more dramatic, steeper, the numbers go up. Go shopping for chisels, you'll see a chart. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button so more people can find this video. Thanks. I'm going to take a little wider chisel. This is a number 5, so it's got a little bit more of a sweep to it. It's equally as valuable in your armament as a number 3. It's got that nice subtle sweep, but for this, it's going to carve me a little depression around. And what I'm trying to do is build up like a collar where the limb comes out of a tree. Has usually a little bulge right there, kind of supports the limb, and that's referred to as a collar. And because it's a little wider chisel, I can carve more material away without worrying about the edges getting caught, the corners. When the corners get caught underneath the grain of the wood, it can tear it and sometimes split it out just exactly where you don't want it to. Keep reminding myself this tree is lisping just a little bit this way, so that means that the grain is such that you want to carve down on this particular side of this post, which I started to not do and was quickly reminded. Switch it around. Now for planishing this down and getting these grooves from the number 5 gouge, I'm going to use a number 1. This is a nice wide one. Again, the corners, that'll keep them out of trouble. So because I've got this an outside curve, I can use this number 1 to flatten it off pretty good. It won't dig in. This tree trunk is supposed to represent a spruce tree, which would be most common in the Rangeley area, where Lyrod would be doing a lot of her fishing. So, and they don't have a very pronounced collar, not like an oak or something like that. When you carve with the grain, you are susceptible to any little trickery that it wants to throw at you. That's why most of the rough out work is done cross grain with a deep gouge. Like this, these scars here are a result of that. And when you're cutting across grain with a very sharp gouge, you have a whole lot more control over the situation. So I'm going to round over the edge of the collar that would go in to meet the knot. I'm angling this surface here back like this, so it looks like the limb broke off back into the tree stem a bit, probably from a bear rubbing on it or something. I quite often use my thumb as a fulcrum. It helps to have an extra point of contact on your tool too, keep you in better control. There, so now, as most limbs crack as they dry, I'm going to put some cracks in there. I don't want it to look like a Mercedes, so go off. If I throw too many in, it'll get confusing. So this is a number 11, and number 11s are really cool. They're also called veiners, but they have really deep high sidewalls here, and They're great for doing deep details like these little rings here. You could use a parting tool for this, but a good sharp knife is pretty good at it too. I'm going to kind of fill in a bunch of little tiny cracks like that, and then they're going to go up into here, which is like the splinters of a broken stump top.
Yeah, check out this next video. We had a lot of fun bringing this one to you, and I hope you enjoy the next one as much.